title fight. I am the champ. Dana White, you need to pay me. I don't know if I got a bonus. Did I get a bonus, guys? I haven't heard anything, right? Everything's been so busy, it's been so chaotic. But Pettis and I deserve fight of the night, and I deserve another bonus because of that. You guys understand, I trained my ass off, and I have a bunch of fighters looking at me to set the sport clean. And I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm not gonna worry about anybody else doing what they're doing because they're gonna have to go home at night, and they're gonna have to decide whether or not they were doing the right thing. Not me.
Tony, you earlier in the week said that you don't actually enjoy fighting and your victory dance is a bag of M&Ms and a can of Coke. After an epic war, yes mate, yeah, get in. After such an epic war against Pettis, arguably fight of the night, is the can of Coke and the M&Ms going to cut it?
Pizza. You guys are like boring out here. But it's funny because it's the smaller things to me that make the biggest difference. Because that keeps me humble. You guys don't want me to have a big head like Connor. Trust me, you guys won't fucking like me. We'll be putting numbers on that pay-per-view stuff. You guys really want me to cut some promos. Trust me, it's cool. I clean up nice. You know, I don't need these lines in my hair. I don't need all that stuff. But I have good management. I have my family. Even before that, I got big family friends. That's strong. You gotta try to take this smile from me. You gotta beat me inside that octagon. And I don't see not one of these fighters in the UFC doing that. I'm setting myself up for life, for my 401k and everything else with my professional team. I'm taking Snap into it global. You guys have no idea. Me and my Sharks, we're going big with this stuff. Health and wellness, man, it's awesome. I did my thing in 4 months. A lot of these PT guys, I'm going back with my PT, you guys. You guys know what that is, right? It's a doctorate. That way you motherfuckers have to listen to me now. Get it?
Dr. Ferguson.
Sounds good.
Tony, you know, just to play the devil's advocate, you said you want to clean up the sport and you didn't like that, but there weren't too many people that seemed like they were outraged by what happened at the end of the fight tonight. And obviously it's going to be dominating the news for the next several days. How is this bad if people like it and it's going to make the fighters money?
It's entertainment. It's what you do with it. I'm not going to get mad at it anymore. Okay? You heard a bunch of people just, if there's nobody getting too hurt in it, and this is Vegas, we're Vegas stronger, right? I fight here. My first time here was when I had a trial for the Ultimate Fighter. People were trying to pull me, hey, let's go to Vegas, let's go have fun. I'm like, you guys don't understand. It's like, I don't like Vegas. Why? Because I want to go and I want to fight there. When this stuff happens in different sports, it puts a bad taste in it, but we're trying to clean it up. And we're trying to clean up as much as possible, but that's not for me anymore. I don't have to get all crazy on it. I have fun. If there's another fighter in front of me, which I hope is Khabib or Connor, I even call him Connor. I'll give him that respect anymore. I don't have to call him Tiramisu McNuggets because I have all the sauce, and I'm very sweet.
And just to follow up, just one last question. How do you think he'd match up with Khabib when you saw what he did against Connor tonight?
It was funny. I actually saw Connor in the back at the weigh-ins. He was strutting up, doing his thing. I can't even do that shit. It's kind of cool. Throw elbows like a Mexican. But he was strutting up, and I had my music on, and I could see a shadow, and I looked over my shoulder, and he stopped in his tracks. He saw fear. I saw fear, like the biggest fear ever. He forgot for a split second, the same way I saw him over at Mayweather when he was over at the presser. When I saw it, he doesn't want a piece of me. Management will make sure that I don't ever touch that guy because they know exactly I'll make that dude mincemeat. I'll chop that dude up, even the dogs. You got Khabib. Khabib's a game opponent. He's a real fighter. I don't know about that BS that happened afterwards, but emotions flare inside there. You guys have no idea that what we have to prepare for. I recommend any of you guys to pick up a pair of gloves and a pair of hand wraps and go spar somebody. See if that makes you excited a little bit. Because if that does excite you, then you're in the right sport. Okay? What the UFC is going to do with that, that's not on me. I'm going to prepare for the next guy that's in front of me. Straight up.
Hey Tony, just regarding that next guy, you know, when you won, you sort of look into the camera and you call that Conor McGregor and Khabib, and not to sort of take away from this moment, but given the tough year that you've had, how long do you think you'd like to wait before you get back in the cage? Or sort of
I'll be ready next week. I'll be ready next week. I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to throw salt in my whole entire film. I'm going to watch film tonight. I'm going to watch it 100 times with my wife like I always do. I'm going to eat some pizza. I'm going to drink my can of Coke. I'm going to eat my peanut butter M&Ms. I'm going to spend time with my little man because he doesn't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Later on in the future, he's going to see this stuff and he's going to laugh and I'll be like, yeah, Pop, that's me. Because when he sees my picture on the board, he goes over and he's like, Dad, Dad, Dad. That's who I'm representing, guys. Not you guys, not anybody else. I'll do it for my little man and for my wife. So if I can make them smile, I'm doing my job right. And I don't have to do anything else.
Being that you are a student of the game, and obviously they are the guys that you may be facing next, anything that you learned
Conor didn't get to get bloody. Khabib, they're not those kind of fighters. They never battled a guy like me that had blades and shades. You know, I make fun of that. You can't prepare for a guy like me. You can try to take notes and watch all my past film, but it depends on what kind of music I'm listening to that time. I'm gonna tell you, I was nervous going into this fight. It's been a whole year since I've actually competed. I mean, if you've been like myself, you're watching from the sidelines, and you're gonna get more pissed. You're gonna get more pissed, and you're gonna want to get back in the game. Because if you're hurt, you gotta dust yourself off. I had to dust off a couple people in my camp this time that they were acting hurt. I was like, no, dude, you're all right. Get up, dust yourself off, get back in the game. Because if you're injured, get the fuck off my mat. I'm here to work. I'm here to work, gentlemen and ladies. Not even in that order. But I'm here to work. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to represent myself well, my family. Not represent the sport. I represent myself well. I'm an athlete. I'm a competitor, first and foremost. I went out there, I outpointed my opponent, and I put him away. Tony Ferguson style. I'm not talking to myself in third person, but TF. That's a technical fucking fault.
Just one more from me, Tony. You spoke about how you deserve a bonus for that fight. One of the interesting things that came out earlier in the week is that you're potentially going to be paid $150,000 to show and a $5,000 win bonus. Is that accurate? And if so, why are you getting a $5,000 win bonus?
They offer me a finish bonus. You don't dangle money in front of me, expect to dance. I went in there and I said I want a win bonus, not a finish bonus. They didn't want to give me the other money, so I opted for 5. I said, give me something. Why? Because that's much more important to me. Like I said, I could retire tonight. Things snap into a go. My sharks are making sure that my business is taking off very well. I'm going back to school, guys. I love everything that's going on right now. I'm at peace. My health is great. Yeah, I quit drinking, but I can pick that shit up back again. But I love the way my body's looking. Straight up, and so does my wife. She comes up to me and gives me a hug and she's like, damn, that's awesome when you see that. You want to be He-Man for those kind of people. You know what I'm saying?
Tony, right here. First and foremost, congratulations on the win. After the fight was over, it seemed, at least to me, that you were a lot more emotional this time out. Is that a correct observation? And what were you thinking about at the moment?
Absolutely nothing. I was just glad that this chapter of my life started a new one. That was a long chapter, man. It was like 5 months. When you're reading that book, you ever have that problem when you try to read the same page over and over? I don't have that one. I just keep flipping the page. I keep absorbing, keep learning from what my mistakes are. I keep growing. Because if I don't allow myself room for growth, I'm going to start floating up there like everybody else. I'm going to start getting a big head. Like I said, you guys don't want me to get a big head. It's easy. I got ears to match it. Trust me, I've learned to laugh at myself a little bit. Maybe I'll go into comedy, maybe I'll go into entertainment, but I am an entertainer. This is entertainment, right? We enjoy what we're doing. So until I don't enjoy what I'm doing anymore, I'm going to keep doing what I do, and that's cutting people up.
You said you wanted a title shot. That means a fight against a fight against Khabib. What if the UFC, after the whole incident, after the fight, decides to, let's put on a rematch? Do you then want to wait for a title shot?
The dude got finished. The dude got straight up finished. No, I'm going to stop you right there. The guy got finished. If you get finished, you get to move the fuck on. I'm here. I just finished Anthony Pettis via verbal tap, right? Verbal tap. Anthony Pettis, and we have to give him credit because that dude's a champ. He was the champ from WC. He's Mr. Kick Off the Cage. You guys got to realize when you're up and coming and you see these guys doing these types of things, it's crazy. You have to up your level. You have to up your game, not only mentally, but physically and emotionally. You got to be testing yourself inside and outside of that octagon. I'm doing these sprints. I'm doing these hill climbs. I'm doing this crazy stuff, right? And I'm putting it out there. Just wait the next week. I'm going to throw up my real videos of my training. You guys will really see what I went through. This was no easy task for myself. You guys have no idea. When you're hurt, how do you feel? You lay down, right? You take a second. You're going, you take your vitamins, do your thing. When I'm hurt, I love it. I love that feeling because it's real. That's the most realest feeling that you could ever have, to be in pain, because everything else, happiness can be fake, crying can be fake, but pain, shit, that's real. I got kicked in the leg. It hurt a little bit, but I walked it off. When I got kicked in the leg and I smiled, that was real. It did not hurt. It took me 4 months because I've had great trainers, Trainers meaning doctors. Okay? Doctors, therapists that have helped me battle back from my arm. Dude, I've had how many surgeries, guys? Who knows the right amount of surgeries I've had? None of y'all. I've had 5 to 6 surgeries. I can't even remember how many surgeries I've had. But that's plenty of time to learn a thing or two about a thing or two, don't you think? And take an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not gonna take your condescending handshake, therapist guy. I'm gonna do this shit on my own. You're telling me 6 months to a year? I'm gonna do it in 3 months. I did it in less than 5 months, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because I was in good health, good rest. I took the Kobe Bryant approach. The more I got towards this fight, sleep less, run more, work out more, feel better, eat good, rest more. Repeat the process over and over, and it showed inside that octagon tonight. Anthony Pettis, very game opponent. We did our homework and we saw him quit. Made him quit.
Tony, I guess my question was, are you saying a title fight or no fight at all?
What's that?
Are you saying either I get a title fight or no fight at all, or are you willing to take another fight if you don't get out?
Give me a title fight. Literally, what do you guys think? Here, show of hands, just please, real quick, because I know you guys didn't do this shit last time I asked you to do something. So this one time, give me this one thing, okay? Show of hands. Do I deserve the title fight? Raise your hand. Yeah, that's cool. That's chill. Everybody's like this. I don't know if I should do it. Hey, it's cool. Yeah, Tony sees me, he won't get out of it. It's cool. Really, I have fun with it. If you want to give me Connor, I'll go toe-to-toe with him. I'll put my foot inside a tire. I would love to go toe-to-toe with him. Mexican warrior versus an Irish warrior? That's pretty proper, I got you. If you want to put me in tiramisu inside that, we'll make that sweet. And I have to tell you, I have to give these guys respect. I don't want to call them McNuggets anymore. I don't want to call them tiramisu because that shit got old. I did that shit on purpose to troll all of you. It's been funny, man, because everybody get clicked now. Now I have tiramisu Tuesdays. Now I got McNugget Mondays. You know what I mean? It works. It's fun. I did my job. Any other questions?
Tony, you said during the week that you signed a bout agreement with Conor McGregor, but you didn't give too much detail into it. Can you explain more about what happened with that bout agreement?
The guy didn't want to fight me. And obviously, he wanted to make more money. He wanted to do different things with the Ultimate Fighter. But check this out, I clean up very well. I've been wearing suits inside the octagon since the Ultimate Fighter 13. Even before GSP even touched base wearing these suits. House called me the GQ Killer. You know what that is? That's an awesome nickname. You know what Sticks called me? He's like, you're the best dressed fighter ever dressed. Wearing 3-piece suits in there. Being comfortable doing it. These guys follow my trends, and they don't want to quote me with it, but it's cool. I take notes on it, and I'm just like, I love it. Because what I'm doing in this game is amazing, and it's just sad that y'all can't see that shit. I'm done. Thank you guys.
So the gate was 17,200,000. The attendance was 20,034. The fight of the night was Ferguson and Pettis. Ladd and Derek Lewis got the performance bonuses. I don't know if you guys are interested in the 50-50 raffle, but it was $65,630. It's pretty good. So 35,815 went to the winner. Yeah, if you give a shit, that's it.
Well, Dana, as you can imagine, we're all trying to make sense of what happened after the fight. Right now, just in your words, can you tell us what you saw, what did happen, what unfolded after everything?
Yeah, so I saw one of Conor's guys yelling at Khabib, and Khabib ran and jumped over the octagon, and you know, went after him. Then eventually, two of Khabib's guys got into the octagon, and one guy hit Conor with some shots and from behind, and then that's it. That's what I've seen. Look, the Nevada State Athletic Commission pulled the footage from us, and you know, there's an investigation going on. They are withholding Khabib's purse. They are not withholding Conor McGregor's. They looked at the footage and felt that there was no need to withhold his purse, so they gave him his, and they're keeping Khabib's.
With that in mind, I mean, we didn't see the belt put on Khabib tonight. Is he still currently right now the champion, or is that something you're reviewing as well?
Yeah, no, listen, being in there in the middle of this thing when it was going on, I felt that I have to start worrying about the fans and people that are inside the arena, media, the guys that are, you know, that are there watching the fight. And I felt that if we put the belt on him in the middle of the octagon, it was going to rain. And I thought that people would throw whatever they had into the octagon, and I thought it would be a dangerous situation, so I didn't do it. I said, well, we're going to be lucky just getting him out of here without him getting pelted. So that's what we try to do.
You mentioned the Athletic Commission, but we saw Las Vegas Metro involved as well. I'm sure it's still kind of unfolding right now, but are you aware of any legal implications, any charges that are being filed against Khabib,
so
his teammates?
The way that works is Conor was one of the guys who was attacked and things like that. Conor refused to press charges. So the guys that they did have, they've released. There were 3 guys from Khabib's team arrested. I think they were from Khabib's team, I don't know, that were arrested, and they were released because Conor didn't want to press charges.
How about for you internally? I mean, it looked like 2 of the guys that got in there, we believe were on the roster. I mean, Islam Makhachev and Zabira Tukigov. Would you take sanctions against them or Khabib?
Of course. The guys who jumped in will never fight here. They'll never fight here. And listen, I've been working hard for 18 years to build this sport, and many of you, I know there's a lot of media here tonight, and some of you, this is your first event. I can promise you this is not what a mixed martial arts event is normally like. And you know, when you have such an amazing event that we've worked hard to build over the last several months, and it goes perfect. I mean, literally, it was too eerie. I kept saying, this is too crazy, man. Everybody made weight, everything's so smooth, everything's this and that. Took all the right precautions, you know. Those of you that have been to many events too, you've never seen this many Metro police officers in the building, and you know, security was unbelievable. We had meetings. I think the last meeting we had with both teams was during the OSP Reyes fight. We did another meeting with them on what's going to happen, and this is the way I was going to the octagon, and nobody else until, you know, I felt like we had control, and I would determine who could come in and who couldn't. Everybody signed up, and everybody's cool, you know, but I don't know. Nobody saw Khabib diving over the, you know, he scaled that thing like he was a parkour guy. It happened so fast, you know. The police did what they could do, and the security. But they did a great job of containing it. Because I know, listen, I was at the Tyson Holyfield fight when that thing was crazy. It just spilled out into the crowd, then it spilled out into the casino, and it just seemed like it wouldn't stop. And when it started, I had visions of that, because I was there. It was fucking scary. And they did a great job of containing it, because usually that stuff spreads like a wildfire. So props to them and thanks to them.
Danny, I know you always tell us, that you never tell guys what to say or what not to say or how to hype a fight or whatever. But this thing was so emotionally, politically, charged in the build-up to it. After this happened, is there any regret that maybe you allowed it to go on or didn't step in?
This isn't the last time. This isn't the last time guys are going to say mean things to each other. It's the fight business, It's the fight game. It's how it works. So, listen, people have been saying mean things to each other for 18 years here at the UFC. Nothing like this has ever happened.
And last thing for me, Dan, I appreciate you talking about this. A rematch between those two seems both incredibly lucrative and also incredibly scary, with what would happen. So give us an idea kind of where you stand. I mean, should these guys run it back, or is that an awful idea for the UFC?
We have to see what happens with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I mean, not just the commission. I mean, there's going to be fines. There's going to be God knows what, Can these guys get visas and get back in the country? You know what I mean? And I mean, Khabib. We'll see how this thing plays out. And, like I was saying, been doing this for 18 years, and the biggest night ever, and I couldn't be more disappointed. You know me, I'm usually mad at everything, but I'm not even mad. I'm just really disappointed.
Dana, you said that the bus incident was disgusting. The press conference was the darkest press conference ever. Today you're disappointed. Do you regret using the bus footage, which kind of incensed Conor? I mean, looking back to kind of how it ended up right now, would you do the same again?
I would.
Okay.
It's part of the story.
Yeah. Where's Khabib? Where's Khabib right now?
He's here.
Is Khabib? Are we going to be able to talk to him, or
I think so. Yeah, he'll be here.
Okay. Did you get a chance to talk to Conor after the whole incident, and kind of what's in your mind frame after the fight, and also?
He didn't care. He didn't care about the fight. Meaning the fight after. He was more concerned about the fight. The fight.
What did he say? What did he say about?
He said, "Listen, man, I'm upset. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. We don't like each other. Whatever." He didn't even press charges. He doesn't like Khabib and the whole deal, but he didn't even press charges against him and his team. He doesn't care about that. He cares that he lost the fight.
Like, you talked to Khabib, right?
I have not.
Yeah.
What did he say to you in the octagon?
Who?
Khabib, I saw you talking to him in the octagon.
Yeah. So Khabib, he said, put my belt on me. And I said, no, we're not going to put the belt on you because I think that the fans are going to go crazy and they're going to throw stuff in here. He says, I don't care. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. I said, yeah, well, the other 20,000 people that are sitting here and paid for tickets aren't ready for this. You know what I mean? And he said, if I have to be arrested, then I have to be arrested, but I want my belt put on me. And then finally, Cormier and Rockhold did a great job helping contain, the situation and get him out of there.
Was it a bad thing from the standpoint, everybody's talking, nobody was mad, there wasn't any fans who were saying, I'll never watch UFC again, they're talking, when are these guys going to fight again? So is it a bad thing or is it a good thing?
No, it's definitely not a good thing, you know what I mean? And maybe I'm taking it harder than most people would because it's, I don't know, it's just not who we are, it's not what we do. You guys know, you've been to a million events, man. A million events. This ain't like a Red Sox-Yankees game. It's not like, I've been to some Red Sox-Yankees game that will scare the shit out of anybody. This is not what we're about. This isn't what we do. This isn't how we act. And it's unfortunate that the night that the most people are watching, this shit show goes on that happened.
Do you feel, Dana, if you had taken action after the bus incident, like the legal process took place, but you were out of it, you weren't going to do anything, had you suspended Conor for X period of time, that you don't think that would have had any deterrent?
It had nothing to do with that. He wasn't coming back and saying he wants to jump over the fence because we didn't suspend Conor. Jumped over the fence because Conor's guy was talking shit to him.
No, I understood, but don't you think that just the fact that it set the tone, like it allowed that to happen, there had been some...
Do you have any idea how much money it cost Conor?
I don't.
The whole thing, it's fucking millions of dollars.
But the thing is, Khabib doesn't know that, or Khabib's team doesn't know that. And so
they know that.
The argument, the point I'm making, not an argument, I'm asking you a question, would be, it's a deterrent effect. If you say, you look in the NFL or wherever, they suspended guys for a period of time, it serves as a deterrent to not, other people to not do that same thing. And I guess that's what I'm saying, had you taken some action on the UFC part, violated the code of conduct or whatever you want to say he did, would that not have maybe prevented some of the heated stuff that happened as promotion?
I would, listen, we didn't, so I don't know, but I would say no. If we suspended Conor, I don't think that was going to stop or slow down or hinder the hatred between these two camps. And I'm sure these guys don't give a shit about suspensions and stuff like this. It's so much bigger than that to these guys. This is some street shit that's going on here. This isn't sport. This is completely different. The suspensions and whatever, none of that stuff matters. And a suspension might have pissed him off even more because Khabib wanted to fight him. Khabib was ready to, Khabib wanted to fight him as soon as it was possible. So me going out and suspending Conor definitely doesn't do that for him.
Can you take a question about the actual fight?
Yeah.
You're pretty impressed with Khabib's performance tonight, and does a fight with Tony Ferguson make sense given that might have been one of the greatest fights in UFC history?
True. The fight was incredible. The Pettis fight of the night, Pettis fight was awesome. Yeah, they both look great. And then I thought the main event was awesome too, until the end. I thought the first round Conor actually did a good job of, normally when Khabib gets you down there, he smashes you in that position. Conor did a good job of defending that first round, but then Khabib does what he does and he starts to wear you out, and that's exactly what he did to Conor.
Any update on how the pay-per-view did?
I haven't even looked at, that's what I should be in here bragging about right now is the pay-per-views, but no, I haven't even looked at that. I haven't even talked about it with anybody or...
When will you know?
Probably after this. I'll grab somebody and figure out what's...
Anybody who's been interested, would you text them and let them know?
Initially, would I...
Anybody who's interested, would you text them and let them know?
I might.
Question over here, Dana. Obvious, just over here. So is it 100% certain that Khabib will not be stripped of the title after what happened tonight?
No, it's not 100%. Khabib has, the thing is, we're regulated by the Nevada State Athletic Commission or whatever state we're in, right? The Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to go after him, I'm sure, pretty hard. You know, he doesn't have to worry about me right now. He has to worry about Nevada. The governor was here tonight. The governor went running out of the building. That's not good. The governor running out of the building isn't good. He's in trouble.
What do you make of Tony Ferguson? Because obviously he was the interim champion before. Is there a chance that he could become interim champion again while this whole thing's being figured out?
I am completely not thinking about any of that shit. I'm not even thinking about pay-per-views. That's how messed up I am right now. So, yeah, I'm not even thinking about that stuff. Obviously, he put on an incredible performance. He got hurt. He came back, won the fight, and yeah, Ferguson. I'm so happy that he actually stepped up and fought on this card too. You know, that's how you stay active. You stay in front of the fans, especially as many people that were watching tonight, and everybody loved that fight. It was a really good night for Tony.
And just finally, obviously, a big fight looking like it's going to happen between Dustin and Nate. Is there a chance that McGregor may face Nate now to sort of take a break from this whole Khabib thing?
Might face who?
Nate.
Nate. I don't. Nate's fighting in New York, so
if he does win that fight, do you think that's a fight?
I don't know. Again, things I'm not thinking about. We good? I talked to Bennett. Yeah. No. I talked to Bennett about. He said he was withholding both purses. He's going to not give these guys their money. Then they went in, they pulled a bunch of footage from us, they did some, and they called him back and said, we gave McGregor, they did an interview with McGregor, and then they gave him his purse, and they're withholding Khabib's. That's it, that's all we talked about. Go ahead, buddy. I almost said, go ahead, Stipe. Give Stipe Miocic a mic here.
Thank you.
What's up, buddy?
Reporter from the Citat, Igor Lazorin. We heard that the 3 guys from Khabib team arrested. They're free now, and I heard that Zubair Tukhugov was in arrest, and will he fight against Lobov?
So what I heard is that 3 of his guys were arrested. I don't know who they were, but then they went to Conor McGregor to press charges, and McGregor said he would not press charges, so they were released. And yes, if they are guys who are under contract with the UFC, they will not fight.
Hey Dana, on Thursday I asked you, this is Dallas Hall from MMA Fight Radio. On Thursday I asked you if this was one of the biggest moments of your professional career.
Yep, I remember.
After what happened afterwards, does that change your opinion on whether or not this was one of your biggest moments?
It's still one of the biggest moments of my career. It's just, I should feel a lot better right now than I do. You know what I mean? I should be celebrating. We should all be celebrating. We should all be having fun and, you know, celebrating how when you put on the right event with the right guys at the right time, how it all comes together and it works for everybody. This is very successful, I'm sure, for all of you, because I don't care what you put up this week, the thing was cranking on views, no matter what you put up. It was a very good week for everybody. It just, it really sucks to end it like this. Instead of celebrating, we're all sitting around saying, wow, that was pretty shitty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, just right there, I mean, you said the commissioner was withholding Khabib's money. What about the money he would make from you guys through the pay-per-view or anything like that? Will there be any impact to him on that front?
What do you mean? Like withhold our money?
Yeah, really.
Why would they withhold our money?
No, I mean like the money you would pay to Khabib for his pay-per-view cut.
Khabib? Yeah.
Like a fine.
Well, Khabib won't get it. First of all, it takes so long for the pay-per-view numbers to come in. He won't get a check for a while. Listen, the Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to take the lead on this thing. They're the regulators. They're the ones that oversee us. We'll see what happens. Obviously, if they give them a really light punishment, which I highly doubt is going to happen, then we'll go from there.
Dana?
Yeah.
How much is the purse that was withheld? And number 2, I know you mentioned that these fighters are just going to talk leading up, but will you reevaluate the way some of the ethnic and religious comments that kind of filter through at these events that could possibly have fueled the brawl? I mean, are you going to reevaluate the way these pre-fight discussions just unfold?
Will I reevaluate what? It sounds like an airplane hangar in here, man. Will I reevaluate what?
Are you going to reevaluate the discussions between the fighters, because some of these guys can handle it? I mean, Conor's a showman. He's doing his thing. Khabib doesn't seem as though he was experienced, and he kind of took the ethnic, religious, offensive comments to heart that could have fueled the brawl today. I'm just wondering, are you going to take another look at just how these quote-unquote mean words affect the fighters as they lead up to the events?
First of all, it had nothing to do with Conor. You didn't see him run and try to attack Conor after the fight. It was a cornerman, a guy who had nothing to do with the fight. He wasn't involved in the fight. He's a cornerman. He was the guy that was that Khabib went after. He was yelling stuff through the cage at Khabib, you know? But that's the fight business. That's sports. There's trash talking in every sport, you know? They do it in the NBA, they do it in the NFL, they do it in baseball. It's part of the game. It's just, you know, that's never going to change here. You're never gonna tell somebody what they can or can't say. That's never going to change.
Dana, right here.
We've had situations, just to answer your question a little bit more, we've had situations where we've had fighters say stuff to the fans. That's a whole nother ballgame. You know what I mean? When you start doing that stuff with the fans. But fighters, it's competition. It's always going to happen. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm right here.
Hi.
So I'm just basically trying to wrap this whole thing up. Is there anything the UFC can do to ensure that situations like this in the future don't happen?
Yeah, we did tonight. How'd that work out?
So there's basically nothing more.
Did you see how many police were here? I don't even know if the city was safe tonight. There were so many police here tonight. I think every cop in town was here. We had an unbelievable amount of security here, you know, and we had, I told you guys, we had meetings all week, and we had 2 meetings tonight. The second meeting was during the Reyes OSP fight, telling these guys what's going to happen and how this is going to play out. We believe me, we went above and beyond anything we've ever done in the history of the company tonight to make sure that this didn't happen. And it happened. What are you going to do when a guy flies like a monkey over the friggin' cage? And, you know, you can prepare, you can have all these people, you can do all this stuff. What are you going to do? They did a great job of containing that and stopping it. Like I said earlier, I've been in those before with the Tyson Holyfield fight, man. Once it starts, it's very, very hard to stop. And it usually spills out into the crowd. And actually, even the fans on the way out, they were actually better than I thought they were going to be to Khabib, because they didn't get him till he went through the tunnel. You're easy pickings in the tunnel, man. But people could have been firing stuff the entire time. And I don't think that happened. I didn't see it unless you guys did. They just got him when he was going in the tunnel. So the team that we assembled tonight did a fantastic job of stopping this thing and containing it and keeping it from getting worse.
Just one more from me. Just one more from me. I think the question that everybody's talking about right now, or a lot of fans are talking about right now, is that is there any chance that the UFC will strip Khabib of his title?
Pretty sure I answered these questions already. All of the questions you just asked me, I have answered. You know, we'll see. The Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to hand down some type of, you know, fine, suspension, or whatever's going to happen. That's up to them. We'll see. And then, I don't know. Listen, if he gets suspended, depends on how long his suspension is, and yeah, he's probably going to get stripped if it's a long suspension.
Dana, the 3 biggest topics on Twitter, I believe, right now are UFC 229, Khabib, and McGregor. Over 1 million people tweeting Khabib right now. It's a sour incident for MMA. I think we'll admit that. But it's the fact that so many people are engaged and so many people are talking about the UFC. Is there a way to take that and make that engagement a positive?
Like I said earlier, I think that obviously people from the outside looking in can look at it like it's just, this is super personal to me. You know, this is I've worked so hard for so long, and we're at this point where we're on ESPN. It's come January 1st, this massive event. People don't look at the sport the way they do. The type of people that turned out tonight, and tonight's, you know, this is one of those spillover events where soccer moms are buying the pay-per-view and watching it at big parties and stuff. And this is how the night ends. It's just really disgusting and disappointing for me. Are we going to fold up everything in the tents and, you know, go away? No. I mean, we're going to keep putting on fights, and yeah, it's just a bad night for me, man. And I'm sure for many of the people in this room who've covered the sport for a long time. We know this isn't who we are, and you know, no matter how many mean things are said to people, they fight and we move on. And I don't know, tonight's just not a great night for me. I'm not in a great mood. Like I said, I should be in here telling you guys how many I don't give a shit how many pay-per-view buys we did. I could care less right now. Doesn't even, I literally, it's all I've been talking about and thinking about all week. And right now, I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, on my daughter's life, don't give a shit. I don't care.
Dana, here in front of you to your right. Can you talk a little bit about the lost opportunity that Khabib had tonight? If he had a career-defining victory against the biggest name in the sport.
You're absolutely right, sir. Yeah. Great question, and I agree with you. So what Khabib should have done was pick Conor up, you know, pull him up from the ground, hug him, and say, you know, good fight, whatever. Get his belt, whatever. Even if you're the biggest Conor fan ever, you at least have to respect it. You know what I mean? And I think that what Khabib did to himself tonight is he was set up, all the mean things that were said about him, all the stuff that happened he won the fight. And he looked great doing it. He had the opportunity to walk out of that place, you know, a champion. It looked like a stud. Instead of flying over the cage and starting this whole thing that he did. should have been a very different night for him too. I agree with you.
Yeah, what was going through your mind when you saw him go flying over the cage?
I was like, no way. This is not happening, man. This is not happening. But then once we got in there, and it's like this gentleman and I just talked about, that's the way the show should have ended, this way. And for the show to end the way that it did, like me and this gentleman over here just talked about, you know, how bad does it hurt us? What does it do? I don't know if it hurts us at all. You know, some people love that shit, but for me, it's just a bad night.
The Nevada Commission and Bob Bennett are notoriously strict for this kind of thing. I mean, Chavez Jr. was suspended 9 months a few years ago for smoking marijuana, which is not legal in Nevada. Would you be surprised to be suspended for any less than a year?
So when the governor's in the room and he has to go running out of this place because he's, you know, wondering what's gonna happen to him, it's not good. The governor oversees the athletic commission, and I'm sure this is gonna be, it's gonna be ugly.
You know, I know it's still fresh, but where would you say this ranks us in terms of crazy moments in your career?
Number 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Go ahead. I'll try to hear you. Oh, there you go.
Is it possible that you will make a rematch because that will be very funny?
Do you say, am I going to make the rematch? Yeah, we've got to see what happens here with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and we'll figure that out. See what happens. I'm not even thinking about that kind of stuff right now. Pass it down to your, yeah, right.
So say that Khabib's visa is in jeopardy, yet the Nevada State Athletic Commission doesn't suspend him for that long of a time. Are you willing to work with him and just keep his fights overseas to defend the title?
No. What are you saying? So if the Nevada State Athletic Commission does something to him, I just take him overseas and do it?
No, not if Nevada is okay with him fighting, but he has trouble. His visa is in jeopardy.
I don't know.
Okay. And also to end on a better note, what was said to Derek Lewis about taking the shorts off in the cage?
He took his shorts off?
Oh, yes.
I didn't notice that. What was he wearing under his shorts?
Some regular black underwear.
What was in his underwear?
You said his balls were hot.
I wish that was the craziest thing that happened to me. That's what I wish. Yeah. He's interesting, isn't he? That guy's interesting. Huh. I didn't even know that. We good? Oh, go ahead, buddy.
Tough night for you, Dana. Well done for keeping a lid on it yourself. Earlier in the week, I asked Khabib if it was more than just a fight, this contest for Conor. Is there any, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Is there any way that you will go away from this and think, you know, I'm going to go and perhaps be an arbiter and get the two camps together and just calm this down afterwards, in case there are further repercussions?
The last thing I'm going to do is put these two camps together again. I'm trying to keep these guys as far away from each other as possible. This is just, this is so much deeper than that. Like I said earlier, these are groups of people that do not like each other, and I don't think that's going to change. I think these guys are going to end up, you know, hugging it out and becoming friends. So, no.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. So when things come together on big fights like this, I know how hard all you guys work on this too. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything this week, you guys, and be safe going home. Have a good night.
No, güey, o sea, y ya lo dijo, o sea, sabe que Khabib va a ser el coach. Oh, yes. Al entregar al no entregar queda bien con Dana White. Y como lo dijo, o sea, cuando lo estás acostumbrado a decir, y a que no sepa controlar la no, pero ya cuando se estaba levantando uno ya estaba prendido porque no viste que quién le tiró el detector. No sé si a alguien le estaba gritando. No sé si no dijo.
Prendió cuando la noche no es porque perdió la cabeza durante la pelea. Es cuando me imagino que es más fácil perder la cabeza en la pelea. Es como un volcán, está aguantando.
Khabib, congratulations on your victory tonight, but as I'm sure you're aware, the story is really about what happened after the fight, unfortunately. Can you tell us in your words, what caused you to jump over the cage and to go after Conor's team?
What's up, guys? How are you? First of all, I want to say sorry to Athletic Commission, Nevada, sorry to Vegas. I know this is not my best side. You know, this is not my best side. You know, I'm a human being, and like I don't understand how people can talk about I jump on the cage. You know, what about he talk about my religion? He talk about my country. He talk about my father. He come to Brooklyn and he broke bus. He almost killed a couple people. What about this? What about this shit? Why people talk about I jump over the cage? Why people still talk about this? Like I don't understand. I am respect. My father teach me, hey, you have to be always respectful. My old team, where I'm training California 7 years, everybody know who I am. All my friends, like everybody who know me, they know who I am, you know? And I told you guys, these guys, not only him, his whole team and him, they tough machines. You know, I told you guys, when you put him wrong way, you're gonna tap. You know, what happened today? Like they call him two-time world champion, like 2 weight classes, but today he tapped. That's why, alhamdulillah, belt is here, undisputed, undefeated UFC lightweight champion. And you know, and I want to say something like, you know, like people little bit, it's not people, I think it's media. Media little bit change MMA. This is respect sport, you know. This is not trash talking sport. This is respectful. Like I told you before, guys, I want to change this game. I don't want people talk shit about like opponents, talk shit about his father, like religion. You cannot talk about religion. You cannot talk about nation. You know, guys, you cannot talk about this stuff. And you know, this is for me is very important. And so much. Thank you guys. Thank you for waiting for me here. I know my father gonna smash me when I go home because I know he's gonna smash me. And Nevada, sorry. Vegas, sorry. And Alhamdulillah, undisputed UFC lightweight champion. Thank you so much. And I'm very proud about, like, all media talk about taking picture with Putin, something like this. He just called me and he said he was very proud of me. I win, and he said congratulations. And you know, I told you guys, everything I'm gonna change 6th October, and I do this. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much.
Khabib, can you talk about the fight before the brawl?
Para suavizar el castigo. Sí, pues ante la prensa ninguno lo compra.
Esto es comparable como que los Mera Warpy se volvió loco y quería lanzar. Es que no puede tener.